But before our Father began teaching us these more advanced techniques, He made sure that we understood the philosophy and the rules regarding the use of the techniques, if we ever use them. And for that, we have the rules of engagement. Rules of engagement. And they are: rule number 1, avoid the fight at all costs.
Rule number 2, if physically attacked, defend yourself.
Rule number 3, if verbally attacked, follow the 3 T steps.
Rule number 4, never punch or kick the bully. Establish control and negotiate.
Rule number 5, when applying submissions, use minimal force and negotiate. So there you have it. 5 rules. Later in the Gracie.BULLYPROOF program, we include them in 100% detail, broken down in simple language for your child to understand. As they were explained to us, we will explain them to your child. Now,
just from that little explanation right there, that little summary, some parents might not agree.
yes, you might
And
not
even
agree.
when they watch the DVD on the rules of engagement, you know what? It's not for us.
Ultimately, the choice is yours, whether you accept our rules of engagement as your own or not. Because ultimately, what your child does is your responsibility. So, teach them something you believe in. We're not saying whether our rules are right or wrong. We're making no claim as to their correctness. We're just claiming that that's what we grew up with. It worked for us, and now we want to share them with you.
And if you don't want to use these rules, create your own rules.
But no matter what, do something. Have some plan. Because here's the deal. I don't care how many techniques you teach your child, self-defense this, self-defense that, they will never defend themselves. They will never use the techniques if they don't feel, if they're afraid of school policy or parent punishment. So unless they know they have your support, your time spent teaching them self-defense is essentially useless because they won't use it. They're too scared that if they get into a fight, they're going to get in trouble. Now, rules of engagement. Although the rules allow for some physicality, for some physical interaction, at certain points, if the bully is very abusive, you have to get physical, right? Although it allows for that, it's very interesting to note that the rules of engagement are the #1 reason why we never got into fights. The fact that Hidon and I had a plan that was taught from a very young age and openly discussed in our household, very publicly discussed, meant that when a situation came about where there was a bully or someone who was bugging us, we were so confident, we were so assertive, okay, in our plan and confident with our, you know, with our discontent with the bully's behavior. We stood up for ourselves so well that the bully said, wow, I don't want to fight this kid. I don't want to keep bugging this kid because if I do, it might get to the point where it gets physical. They felt that we were ready to engage.
The bullies from when we were little kids till today, even until today, people can feel there's a certain kind of like,
Yes.
very like, hey,
We're sure. We are sure. So it's fascinating, so important that you understand. Our willingness to engage ensured that we never had to engage. And that's the most important thing about the rules of engagement. Your child has to know exactly when they can and cannot use the techniques, but more importantly, they have to know that they have your support if it ever goes down. And that way, they will literally become bully-proof. It's that simple. Rules of engagement. Accept them as your own. And if you do, be very open about it with your child. It should be a commonly discussed thing. But if you don't, figure something out. Because otherwise you would be doing your child a disfavor by teaching them self-defense and not letting them know when they should and shouldn't use it. So incredible. Rules of engagement. Once fully understood, they will be the #1 reason why your child never gets into fights. Because they'll have that confidence in the plan. Confidence in a plan.